Angisakwazi nokulala Loke ngicabanga yena Saba welu kumbona Long distance uyanyova Angisakwazi nokulala Loke ngicabanga yena Saba welu kumbona Long distance uyanyova Kulung ngicela ungipha amaphiko Vele ngize ngiyobona umuntu wami Kulung ngicela ungipha amaphiko Vele ngize ngiyobona umuntu wami. Morning, guys. Very beautiful song, Spesihle Skakane, featuring Younger Chief. Bumping song if you guys want to hear it out. I hear Spesihle was in matric, I think, last year. Siswa Zulu. I really wish nothing but the best for her. Beautiful song. Amaphiko. Another beautiful song is Phakade. I think Unomfundo is the lady, featuring Amifaku and Shasha. Yes. Music is life. Music. I can't wait till I have confidence to sing like on a full-time basis. But anyways, it's a work in progress. Very good morning. It's Penny Wild, the Black Pen. A lot of you know me as, or some people know me as Penwell. And then for the Penwellists, the people that follow my leadership, I am known as God. A few protocols to be observed. Please remember every day to take care of your health. Make sure that you are exercising. Just 100 push-ups every morning, 100 squats every morning, 200 calf raises every morning, every single day. Do that for 2 months. You will see a real difference. Besides exercising, please fix your diet. I know a lot of people who are addicted to gym and they don't see a difference purely because they are still eating garbage. You need to be very intentional about what you put in your body. Your body is your greatest asset. It is your number one weapon. That means if you don't have a stick and you don't have a gun, your body becomes what can protect you from other people and other animals. It is the best computer you can ever have. When I speak about your brain, it is the best transportation. If you can't get money for a taxi or a train or a bus, if you don't have a car, you can walk, you can run. So please take care of your body. It's your number one asset. Make sure that you're putting the right things inside it in terms of food. Make sure that you're feeding your mind the right things. And make sure that you're around positive energy, man. You know, it's not nice to be miserable and depressed and all those kind of things. So please take care of yourself. Number two, I was in Cape Town for the weekend. Went to see some business associates. Went to go and see some friends. Very happy to be there. Very beautiful city. Even though they want to make it an independent country. Very disturbed by the number of hobos, beggars in the city. Colored, white, black. Looking mentally broken. Digging in the bins, looking dirty. I haven't been to Cape Town in a couple of years, so I guess I was just not ready. And obviously it got my head spinning. But anyways, it's a conversation that we'll have at another point. But beautiful city, got to hike up. Sorry about that. Got to hike up Lion's Head. Great hike. What else? Got to visit some business friends. Got to see some friends I went to varsity with, played rugby with. Got to visit the V&A waterfront. Got to visit a nice vineyard, which has now been converted into a hotel in Wynberg. Got to meet a gentleman that I'm hoping will become my mentor as time goes on, Mr. Rob Hersov. Going to be addressing a part of my meeting with him in this video. Also on Saturday, I had the privilege of attending the 40th birthday celebration of a newfound friend and family member now, Nontobeko Duma, who works in Russia. Got to meet her family and got to watch her and her family literally have a family meeting, celebrating the matriarchs in the family, or mama, or aunt, or mamncane, or mamkhulu, or gogo, and the powerful role they've played over the years. That was very beautiful, being in Durban. Visited Umhlanga for a bit, but I was there for 1 day, so I couldn't do much. And I was feeling a bit under the weather. Back in Joburg now, very excited to be back in the Republic of Johannesburg. I'm hoping over time that the name of this place will change, because I don't know Johannes Resik or whichever Johan this place was named after. So I think it's time we change the name. It doesn't have substance. It's nothing to be proud of. I've said the same about my surname, Umlotshwa. I don't know Umlotshwa. I don't know who he is, where he came from. I've devised a family tree which goes back maybe 14 generations, but I still don't have the source of who was Umlotshwa, because I'm assuming it's a person's name. If it wasn't a person's name, maybe it was an area. If it wasn't an area, maybe it's a meaning of something. So because I don't know what it means, it doesn't have substance for me. So I want to get rid of it, and I want to create a new surname for myself, for my family, and then future generations can decide if they want to change. As some of you may know, Ushaga of the Zulu nation, of the Zulu people, did not have a surname. He was known by his father's name, Ushaga Kasenza Ngakona. His father was known as Usenza Ngakona Kajama, who was his father as well. Joba meningi Penwell nomulungelo. I can be recognized under my father's name, Uzwelake, so I could be Upenwell Kazwelake. Because we live in a world where our mothers, our women are empowered, I think it's very important that we begin recognizing them and their names as well. My mother being Danisile, Alina. So if you call me more beautiful than hearing Umlotshwa, Itagazelo zasekhaya, Ozitho, Ontumbeza, Ontans, or Sholos, you know, Penwell Kazwelake, Phineas, Kadansile, Alina, Umamsi. That's who I am. That's my heritage. Those are the people that gave birth to me. Those are the people that raised me. Those are the people where there's substance for me. And when I speak to my children about umkhulu wabo, Uzwelakhe, Phineas, uRider, lo wezinja, ezokuzingela, lo owebhola, that carries a lot of weight for me. When I speak about my mother, uDanisile, Alina, uMamsi, lo dayisa amasekeli, lo uthisha ehlala nathi emadadeni, Khaladi, Sandia. You know, that's my mom, and I appreciate that very much. Before I go off on a tangent, I think I've observed some protocols. I have to acknowledge that not everyone will watch all of my videos. And I can't be so naive and ignorant to assume that people will. So when I say certain things, when I post certain things, and new people get offended, think it's controversial, don't understand, it's not for me to take the high road, get on a high horse and be like, yeah, but I've said this in a video before. Yeah, but I've posted this before. I have to be sensitive to understand that you might be watching my first ever video. So I need to have the patience, the sensitivity, the understanding to relay my beliefs, my thoughts, to unpack the way my mind works to new people as regularly as possible until enough people kind of have an idea of who I am. And number two, so that people can begin talking about me and say, no, but Penwell has actually said that he stands for this or he stands for that, etc. So today's video is going to be about two important points. The first one is going to be much shorter. I want to discuss my second meeting with Rob Hersov. The second part is going to be me speaking about a post I put on Twitter, which trended over the weekend, where I posted a picture of my Bible, so to speak, Penwellism Principles, which has my guiding principles of my belief system, my religion, my culture. And the caption was, I am no longer Zulu. I am no longer Christian. I've built my own religion / culture, my own belief system. Anyone who would like to buy a copy of my book, it's 50 Rand, they can DM me. A lot of people got touched for various reasons. What do you mean you've left Zulu? The Christian thing is cool because obviously a lot of people are woke today, so they understand what it means to leave Christianity. But I'll park that for the second part. I'll start with Rob. Rob Hersov is a third generation money. His grandfather, along with a gentleman from the Manel family, founded Anglo Fall, which was a huge company, mostly in mining, but then it branched into a whole lot of other industries as well. Later on, I think it would convert into Anglo-American. It funded some of the big banks in the country. I'm not sure if they were involved in SA breweries. And if you ever track some of the companies, Avenge, Anglo Vol Engineering, a whole host of other companies it's been broken off into many companies. It's got a whole lot of new owners elsewhere somehow, but it was huge. I found out yesterday on Twitter, Nick Headley is the gentleman on Twitter. He posts a lot of interesting information saying that Anglo American paid 62 billion rand last year in taxes in South Africa, which is enough to cover all the child grants. We've got 12.8 million children on child grants in this country. Of the 16 million children under 18, 12.8 million. And he was saying that 62 billion literally just funded or can fund all the child grants. And I was like, that's brilliant. People got touched, of course, blacks. The blacks always get touched, saying, yeah, but how do they build themselves, whatever, going on a tangent. So his grandfather built that. His father took over, Rob. Rob himself grew up in Johannesburg. He went to, I think, the most expensive primary school in Johannesburg called The Ridge. I've made a joke before that I think they wanted to call it The Rich, but it would have been a bit too arrogant. So they decided to call it The Ridge. I think it still is the most expensive primary school in Johannesburg. From there, he went to Michael House, which is the second most expensive school in the country, in Balgowan, in KZN, the KZN Midlands. I believe he went to UCT thereafter. He went to America. I'm not sure if he was going to study. I think he may have gone to study. You can find some of this information on YouTube if you listen to his interviews. And somewhere along the way, there was a lady he dated who got him access to Rupert Murdoch. Rupert Murdoch is a media mogul. You can research him as well. He managed to become the right-hand man of Rupert Murdoch, worked for him. And then at some point, Johann Rupert was based in Switzerland, I think, at the time, in terms of business. Invited Rob over to Switzerland and wanted to do work with him. So he worked with Johann Rupert for quite a while. He's traveled the world. He's been based in London as well. And now he's come back home. The prodigal son returns. He's back home in South Africa. He's in love with this place. Anyone who's had the privilege to travel the coast of South Africa, Western Cape, the Garden Route, Eastern Cape, South Coast, Margate, Port Shepstone, Durban, up Richards Bay, I don't know if it's La Lucia, St. Lucia, those stunning. You go to Mpumalanga and you see the mountains. If you see some of the mountains in the Eastern Cape, if you see the KwaZulu Midlands, Pietermaritzburg, those type of sides, if you've seen some of the game farms in Limpopo or Limpompo for lazy Zulus, in Limpopo, some of the game farms in the northwest, called Rustenburg. I mean, even in Johannesburg, around Johannesburg, the Magaliesberg, the Drakensberg. This country is absolutely beautiful from an aesthetic perspective. The mountains, some of the waterfalls we have, some of the rivers, the beaches, of course, and we've got beautiful weather the whole year. What you guys call cold in winter is it's really not. This country is beautiful, and the people here are relatively friendly. If you travel to places like Europe and Asia, everyone is on a mission. Everyone's got a miserable face. So South Africans are happy people. We've got amapiano, ziyajiva, bonbapuza, uemnandi, dango, got slay queens on Insta Grizzle. It's a beautiful country, man, and it's alive with possibility. You can literally come from anywhere in this country, and if you have enough drive and curiosity and a hunger, you can almost become anything you want. You can travel outside the country and go and establish yourself somewhere. A newfound friend, Mfana Futi, Max Kumalo, who's based in Scotland, is Mfana Wagwamashu, his mom was a domestic worker, and after matric, he didn't really know what to do with his life. He worked for an Indian business putting up, I think it was satellite dishes. I could be wrong. He worked for Ellie's. And then as soon as he got a chance, a friend of his was overseas. He went overseas. He hustled there, established himself in London, studied, I think, in Ireland. And now he's in Scotland working there. He's invested in a whiskey business. He's connected with me. He's a newfound friend and brother. I'm excited about the networks I'm building with normal South Africans. There's a lady, Tuli, I think, I don't want to butcher her surname, I think Tuli Wakakwala, but she works with the Lion King. as Rafiki. In Germany, currently, she's also reached out to me. She's donated to me, which I'm very grateful for. And not just her, there have been a lot of people who have donated money to me in the last 2 months. I'm trying to use that money to give back. In Johannesburg, in Zandspruit, which is apparently the oldest township, there's a charity center. There's a center for help called Mthonjeni that I went to visit last week. We went to go and drop off soccer balls that we bought for the kids there to play soccer. And I was given a tour around to see what else we can do to help there. So I'm hoping to build a better relationship with them. So some of the money that you guys have donated has gone there. There's a daycare center, Etembisa. I forgot the name of this informal settlement. There's a squatter camp there. Konu Mama there, who's built a place for children to eat, to study. We've donated there over the last couple of years. I'm going to take some of your money and go donate it there. I'll take photos and I'll post accordingly. There's a whole host of other centers. There's a safe house in Joburg I've worked in with children, girls who were trafficked, who have been raped and used as sex workers in Johannesburg that have been rescued, and they've got a safe place and they've been educated and rehabilitated. And then some of the money I'm using to try and travel the country to come and meet some of you guys. I know I'm currently still in the process of building my brand, but I'm excited just to begin meeting some of you and build great relationships. I was in Cape Town. I got to meet Torik. I got to meet Dean. I got to meet Mpendulo, cool young gent called Lazola. I met Loyiso Manga, who is the first black extra virgin oil producer in this country, who has managed to get his olive oil into Woolworths. I'm hoping to have chats with him and see how we can get him to grow. Tina, I think Pumlani, a couple of other people. There are great people that I'm meeting in my travels. Like I said, I met the Duma family and I found out with them that Thakazelo, our clan names overlap. Kona labeti, kwaphekwa iche. The way we're so stubborn, kwaphekwa iche, kwavuthwa iche qala. Nokuthi ilwandle lingakhonjwa, lingawelwa, luwelwa zinkonjani. So it's nice to see those links and just meet people and be in new spaces. So this weekend, I'm in East London. I'm hoping to find a venues where I can meet some of you guys. Again, it's from the donations that I get from you people. Again, I'm going on a tangent, but I'm very thankful and blessed, and this country is beautiful. So again, Rob Hersov is back in South Africa. He's built an investment company called Invest Africa, which is hoping to be the investment destination of choice for wealthy people on the continent and even outside that want to invest in Africa and in South Africa in particular. You can look up Invest Africa online. He is the chairman there. He's the chairman of a couple of other companies as well. He's also spoken about some of his failures, some of his companies that have completely fucked out, So last year, Rob went to speak. He was invited to speak at an investment conference in KZN. And there he slashed the ANC, said we need to get the ANC out of power. Said so Ramaphosa is not the savior that white people thought he would be. Fili Mbalula is an idiot. He apologized to Fili Mbalula thereafter, and they actually met up and even took a photo together. But he was speaking about the fact that if South Africa wants to fix its unemployment problem, economic growth problem, there's a whole lot of changes that need to be made. And it trended, it went viral. So I was going to do charity work on a family farm in De Deer in the Val in Gauteng. And I decided while I was there waiting for people to rock up to just speak about this video that I'd watched because I was so impressed. And also speak about the state of South Africa, speaking about white privilege, including the privileges of Rob and his family. The video trended and it got to some of his friends in New Zealand, some of his friends in the Cape, some of his friends overseas. Rob Hersov is not on social media, for the record. You won't find him on Twitter, on Facebook. He's not on social media. But he sends his videos and his things to his mates. And then his mates upload these things. He sent me some of his videos. I'm never the first to upload them. So by the time I catch them trending, it's late. So I met with Rob last year. He reached out to me. We met in Joburg in Melrose Arch. I happened to meet Unhlanhla Lux on the same day. Nhlanhla Lux has become very popular in the last 2 months, especially as one of the leaders of Operation Dudula. He was the founder and is still the leader of Soweto Youth Parliament. And recently he had a chat with MacGyver, and Saul Penduga on Podcast and Chill. You guys can check that out as well. I think it's over 340,000 views now. I had a chat with Nhlanhla last night and I was saying, look, we still have to chat. I haven't finished watching the conversation, but I was like, I want to figure out some of the questions MacG and them didn't ask, so that when we jump on a podcast, I can cover some of those things. I disagree with some of the views Nhlanhla Lux has. I disagree with some of the views Julius Malema has. I disagree with some of the views Andile Mngxitama has. I disagree with a lot of the views that Cyril Ramaphosa has. I disagree with some of the views that Rob Hersov has. The cool thing, though, is that these are the people that have put their hands up and said, I will lead. I will open my mouth and I will be a voice and I will make moves. And a lot of people like what they have to say. Rob Hersov speaks largely for wealthy, white, privileged people. And they need a voice. They feel like they don't have a voice anymore. Is John Steenhuisen their voice? No. Is Steve Hofmeyer their voice? No. So they're like, we agree with Rob. So he becomes a voice for them. Nhlanhla Lux is speaking for some of the people in Soweto, people that have been cut off from electricity, speaking for people that are fed up with foreigners in South Africa. Gayton McKenzie has been a vocal voice against illegal foreigners in South Africa with his political party, the Patriotic Alliance. Herman Mashaba ignited this chat when he was still under the Democratic Alliance as mayor of Johannesburg, where he was looking to fix the hijacked buildings, looking to get rid of illegal foreigners. So Nhlanhla Lux speaks for some of those people. Andile Mngxitama speaks for black people that are landless, that are angry, that are black conscious, etc. I can keep going. So I appreciate that these people have put up their hands, just as I've put up my hand. And I'm hoping that as we see more of these people, more of you will put up your hands and be like, I don't really agree with this penal cat. I like some of his stuff. I think some of his stuff is bullshit, and I don't know about this fucking God nonsense. But he stood up and is leading, and I think I want to stand up, and I want to lead. And I think there are people that need me to lead in my family, in my community. Because that's the whole thing I'm big on. Leadership must start at home. Be the leader at home. Whether you're young or not, Julius Malema stood up and put his hand up in an ANC with many, many huge leaders. Terra Likota, Cyril Ramaphosa, Bheki Cele, Mam Naledi Phando, Mam Winnie Madikizela, Mkhulu, Nelson Mandela, Jacob Zuma, Thabo Mbeki, Kgalema Motlanthe, all these people, Mam Lindiwe Sisulu, and he got loud there in his family of the ANC. Unfortunately, the family kicked him out and he went to build his own family of the EFF, the Economic Freedom Fighters. But he was like, I will lead. And he led and he inspired a lot of us to be like, we must lead. And I'm telling you, start at home. Fight up against your grandparents, your uncles and your aunts. Be the Julius Malema or the rebellious Nelson Mandela or the Nhlanhla Lux or the Andile Mngxitama. Be the guy to stand up in your family and be like, no, I disagree with where we're going as a family. We're losing. No mkhulu, no gogo, no babomkhulu, no mama omncane, whatever, no mamncane. They're leading us into rubbish. And you'll be surprised at how many young people and old people in your family will be like, "Ay, mfano yakhuluma, senze njani," and lead. So Rob Hersov was speaking for a group. We had nice chats with Rob. He bought me a Coke. I don't know if buying me a Coke means I'm now captured. Fuck. Maybe I'm captured. It wasn't the Coke. Anyways, he bought me a Coke. We had a nice chat. I got to meet Nhlanhla Lux. Pretty cool. And then life went on and we took photos, and a lot of people have posted those photos over and over saying that we've been captured. These white people are very quick to capture young talent, etc., etc. Pictures have surfaced with Rob Hersov taking a picture of Gayton McKenzie. Julius Malema, I think they took Julius to London to meet some of the guys there. I don't know if Lord Renwick, who had access to the Queen and some of the people there, was one of the people that wrote Julius, and they met when Julius was still Stuga. At least now he's taking care of his body, which I think is very important. So yeah, we speak a lot about capturing, man, and we speak about Cyril Ramaphosa CR17 bank statements. Where Ramaphosa, we still haven't seen who has funded him. We can speculate because we know he's got a relationship with Stephen Saad and the guys at Aspen. We know he's sat on the board and been chairman of the Jewish guys, Brian Joffe and the guys at Bidvest, the MTN guys. Obviously, his good mate with Putuma Nhleko of Pembani. Putuma's currently looking after his company Shanduga until he leaves politics. This is my conspiracy theory. Wouldn't really necessarily say he's captured, but obviously his brother-in-law is Patrice Motsepe. Patrice Motsepe was one of the beneficiaries of the Hersov Manel families. So I don't know if it's Harmony, African Rainbow Minerals. His first foray into mining was a piece given by the Hersov Manel families because they had a good relationship with Patrice's father, Augustine. Patrice grew up privileged. I think he studied Eswatini at a top school there. His sister, Bridget, who's married to the Minister of the Presidency, I still think, Jeff Radebe. Bridget Motsepe Radebe was the first in the family to actually go into mining before Patrice. But Patrice became successful. So we can speculate on whatever, it's not important. I made videos after my meeting with Rob Hersov. I made 2 videos last year trying to unpack the conversation that happened so that if anyone accuses me of being captured or whatever, they at least have those videos to reference. Unfortunately, you know, we say black people don't read. Black people read. They just read garbage. Daily Sun, Sunday World, nonsense. They read Facebook. The other thing is it seems black people don't necessarily do sufficient research to hear the other side. And like I said, a lot of people have not seen those videos. So I understand. And that's why I guess I have to keep saying this so that you know. But I was explaining what happened and what we spoke about. Just as I'm going to just highlights of what Rob and I spoke about in our second meeting. So this time he captured me with breakfast. Nice scrambled eggs and toast and some buttermilk pancakes. So I guess he's capturing me in food and drink. Very nice to meet Rob. He's been spending time with his family. His father is 95, still a soldier. His parents love Joburg. They're never leaving Joburg. He loves the Western Cape. Him and his wife, he met his wife is from New Zealand. They're based in the Western Cape, in Cape Town. He loves Cape Town. So we got to meet and chat. Number one, he's a minimalist, which I like. If you see the pictures we take with him, he's just wearing a shirt and basic pants. He's a minimalist like me. And a lot of people have spoken before about people like Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Steve Jobs, and the fact, even Elon Musk now, that when you see them in pictures, there's no Gucci, there's no fat watch, there's no, because they're not seeking external validation. They don't need you to be like, look, I'm rich. They know their worth. They know what they can build. They know what they've achieved. So minimalism is beautiful in that sense. You don't have to be rich first to be a minimalist. I'm a minimalist. I sleep on a mattress on the floor. I don't have a bed. I got rid of my beds. I stay in a very small 1-bedroom unit with my mom. You know, I live a very, very simple life. That's a conversation for another day. Had nice chats with Rob. We were catching up. He's spending time with his family. Obviously, he's been hearing about this capturing nonsense, which he thinks is absolute rubbish. And he just wanted to know how I'm doing. And I updated him. And, you know, I told him I didn't know you were such a big deal. And it's been scary for me because I've taken a lot of pictures with, I think, a lot of influential people. And the one with Rob is the one that stands out. And everyone that kind of meets me and talks to me is like, yo, so tell us about your meeting with Rob. I'm like, what the fuck? Is Rob like some demigod somewhere that I had not been briefed on? But I realized the power of money, the power of propaganda, the power of psychological control, which are things that I'm passionate about. You know, it's the reason why I have built a religion, a culture, and why I call myself God, because I understand the power. But it was interesting, you know, very interesting to have that experiment with Rob. And obviously we took a picture this time and I posted it again just to see what people are going to say now. And again, surprise, surprise, the blacks got emotional. The blacks got emotional again. As usual, with their peanut brains. And And look, by blacks, I'm not talking all blacks. There's a lot of intelligent black people who had really, really cool comments to give under the picture. A lot of people are like, look, we don't know what you guys spoke about, but it's cool that you're meeting up with Rob again. We're hoping that you guys will do good work. But there are a chunk of black people who, unfortunately, are just mentally fucked. There's a lady here on Facebook who was like, yeah, he's captured, what. And I was like, you guys really fear white people. And it's scary. And you cannot contain your inferiority complex. I told Rob, because he used to work for Johan Rupert, that yes, I'd love to take a picture of Rupert, because that would fuck shit up completely. Can you imagine a picture with me with the Johan Rupert? Hey, Johan is a fucking Afrikaner of note. Paul Roos Gymnasium, Universiteit van Stellenbosch. There was a time when he pulled the luxury brands, because he owns Montblanc, Cartier, Dunhill, a couple of other, some watch brands. He pulled them from these top magazines because they were like, Afrikaans is such a horrible language. He was like, fuck yeah. You know, he's passionate about rugby. Geez, anyways. So that would be pretty cool. But a lot of black people are just really scared of white people and really scared of white people with money. And because you guys don't have access to Rob and you can't bash him, it's easier to bash us who speak to him. It's a form of cognitive dissonance because you're kind of a bit jealous and also kind of angry. So the first thing I'll say is this. Let's speak about capturing. Being captured, because a lot of people throw the word around, like they throw xenophobia and homosexuality and homophobia and transgender. People throw these terms around without really looking at the definitions. So the concept of capturing, when we speak about it in a political sense, because we spoke about Jacob Zuma captured by the Guptas. Raymond Zondo nor Ramaphosa have not found anything to prove that Jacob Zuma was captured by the Guptas. They didn't find anything. It is one of the disgusting parts of the life we live in South Africa today. It's disgusting. And they won't apologize. Just like they won't apologize for COVID being a fucking huge scam. And people are still going to talk about Zuma and the Guptas, but they didn't find anything. They had a fucking over 1 billion rand commission where lawyers and judges and all these people were paid gang amounts of money. And they couldn't fucking find anything to prove that Jacob Zuma was captured by the Guptas. All these other people, we even found out Ramaphosa's links. Ramaphosa was implicated. Nothing from fucking Jacob Zuma. They jailed him because of contempt of court. Not because they found that he'd done anything wrong. Anyways, I apologize for getting emotional. The concept of being captured from a political perspective and just in life in general, I believe, is the idea of someone having influence over your mind. That means, for example, if I'm captured by the Muslim community, anytime I go out there, I will not say anything bad about Islam. I will not say anything bad about Prophet Muhammad. And anytime the Muslim community needs something of me, I will make sure that I'm there for them. Same with the Jewish community. Same with my parents. My mom has captured me. I will never speak ill of my mom. I will never attack my mom. If anyone attacks my mom, I will defend her. If there are opportunities for my mom to thrive, I will make sure that she gets those opportunities. My mom, Umamsi, has captured me. So it's the idea of someone capturing your mind. And once they capture your mind, they obviously capture your body, your behavior, and any advantages you have, you will then funnel in their direction. So the idea with Zuma being captured by the Guptas was that the Guptas gave Zuma money, because the assumption today also is that to be captured, you're captured with money. Captured with money, and because of that, Zuma placed Ututuzane on the board of Sahara, and I think Ututuzile at some point was also working with the Guptas. Guptas got into Eskom, they got into mining, they did some other businesses, and it was like, they've captured Jacob Zuma. Then there was the story of Jonas, who said he was offered 600 million rand. Anyways, I'm not going to go into that. Said he was offered 600 million rand. Jacob Zuma was nowhere there. Other people were like, the Guptas called us for this. Jacob Zuma was nowhere there. Jacob Zuma said in parliament, my son Tutuzane loves business. He's been in business. You guys are bashing him purely because he's my son. It could have been the Guptas. It could have been Tutuzane working with the Mutsipes. Could have worked with the Ramaphosas, the Joffis, the Oppenheimers, the Ruperts. But people, obviously, because of propaganda, And we learned about Bell Pottinger, which is a company. I don't know if it's a propaganda or reputation or branding company in the UK, which it came out later, Johan Rupert had been using for years. There are companies that work hard to push propaganda. They create fake Twitter accounts, fake other accounts, and they push these narratives. Yeah, Penal is doing this, yeah, blah, 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 what. And people buy into them, you know. The one thing I know about capturing, because all of you guys think it's about money, capturing has a lot to do with language, you know, mouth, story. If I tell you a good enough story about Jesus Christ who died for your sins, I didn't give you any money at all. I've just told you a great story of this man who was born the son of a virgin, you know, whose stepfather was a carpenter, you know, who preached peace and love, who fed people with fish and buns, you know, who was crucified and resurrected. And you're like, ooh, Jesus who died for my sins. I didn't give you any money, but I've captured your mind. Because moving forward now, you will be like, no, but I'm a servant of my Lord, Jesus Christ, my Savior. You know, you're not going around saying my Lord, Steve Biko, my Savior, who died for me in South Africa. So capturing actually has a lot to do with language and story. But obviously a lot of people have now been captured by money, because money is literally just a tool. You know, we spoke about money with Rob, and I was telling him that, you know, I'm not big on money. I like the influence money has, but my whole passion is to try and control minds. If I can use money to do that, I'll do it. It's superficial. The same way Ramaphosa, through his R1 billion fundraising, managed to buy votes. The votes that he bought are not people that like him. It's people that like money. So if Ramaphosa can't pay them, they won't vote for him. They'll vote for the next person who gives them money. Jacob Zuma, on the other hand, didn't buy people with money. He bought people with story and language and singing and dance. People love and fight for Jacob Zuma, not because he gave them money. He captured them through his personality, through his moves, through his charm. So I think that's very fascinating. Because Rob Hersov has worked for Rupert Murdoch, who runs a media empire, Rupert Murdoch understands the power of propaganda. And I can only imagine that Rob Hersov understands the power of propaganda as well. So I am not naive to think that when Rob takes pictures with various people, that people are not going to speak. The guy was in the media business. He understands. And he comes from a family of means and influence. So I'd like to think he understands. We have these conversations with him. We laugh about them, but I think he's quite impressed by my sensitivity and my intelligence and my... there's a nice English word that's slipped me. But my ability to see through things and analyze them on a deeper level. You know, I've said to people before that I don't have much to offer. I don't have money. I'm not Ramaphosa or Patrice Motsepe who throws money at the ZCC church, and I'm not Father Christmas. Johan Rupert was like, he's not Father Christmas. I don't have money. I don't have a big business where people want to be involved in the business I'm doing. Besides girls who might think that my eyebrows are cute. A lot of these men that I meet with they're not like, oh my gosh, you're such a cute guy, I want to get to know you. What I have is just, I have a brain and a mouth, and I guess I attract people because of chats, like the people that are going to be watching this. So I appreciate what I bring to the table, and Rob, like DJ Sbu, like one of my mentors, Kulufelo Maponya, like another mentor of mine in KZN, the Jamaluddin family, Ahmed in particular, brilliant gent. I can list maybe 30 of my mentors. Some of my mates, Lungisa Chele, you know, great business people in their own right. A lady I'm going to be meeting with today who runs a brilliant catering business, Nonhlanhla Mthetho. They like the way I speak, the things I have to say, the way I analyze the advice and stuff I give. So Rob likes that about me. Would he like to capture me? I guess yes and no, from my opinion. He'd like to capture me because he thinks I'm intelligent and make nice videos and I can influence some people. He'd be like, you know, it would be nice if this guy kind of supported what we're doing. Nothing wrong with that. I think you guys, if you had something that you care about, like kicking out foreigners, you'd like to get me to support that. Would he like to tell me what to do and turn me into a puppet? No. And, even this concept of being a puppet is mostly chosen. One of the things about being captured, because like I said, there's money and then there's story. A lot of black people suffer from cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance meaning they have clashing ideologies. So you claim you hate foreigners, and then on the weekend, a Nigerian woman is doing your hair. You hate Pakistanis, they sell expired food. And there you are at the Pakistanis Paza shop buying from them. Like, what the fuck, dog? So a lot of black people talk about being captured, but they all dream of working for these big white companies. And when you work for a lot of these companies, there's confidentiality and there's a way you have to carry yourself. And because of that, these people can't post what they like on social media. They can't, like me, throw F-bombs. Fuck this, fuck that, bullshit, motherfucker. A lot of them even get touched about the words I say. They're like, I'd never be able to say that, my employers are watching. Guys, be careful of your social media. Employers are watching. That means now you can't be free. You can't speak your truth. I get to speak my truth. I can slash Rob. But I met the bloke. He's a cool bloke. He's my kind of guy. He's an asshole. Like me. I'm a fucking asshole. I understand him. He understands me. And I think I'm cool because I understand different people from different walks of life. I can speak to Ukoko or Holeli Mpesheli. I can speak to a rugby jock. I can speak to a middle-class, clever black. I can speak to abantu basemakhaya, abenhlonipho nokuzotha. I can connect with a whole lot of different people because of my upbringing in different spaces. And I understand the concerns that white people have in this country. And I said this in my video before I met Rob the first time. Obviously, white people would like the privileges and the safety and the comfort they had during apartheid. Obviously. But at the same time, most of them, they don't want apartheid to come back because it came with a lot, man. The world hated them. It's so much work beating up blacks and fight. It's a lot. But they do want that comfort and that privilege back. And what they want is they're hoping to rebuild that using new people. Obviously, white people don't go down well with blacks. So they need to find the type of black people who kind of understand their pains. Vusi Tembewayo, maybe, Musi Maimani, Herman Mashaba, who want to advance the nation, who want to uplift and empower black people, but who are not going to disrupt white privilege. I know that you can't have it both ways, unfortunately. But that's what privileged white people want. Rob Hersov has never said that he wants that to me. I'd be lying. This is my opinion. And it's not about him. It's about who he represents. Wealthy white people. Generational wealth. That's what they want. They don't want, it would be so stupid. Rich white people saying, we want to lose all our money. We want to be poor. We want to give away, we want to give back the land. We want to stop living in Camps Bay, and it's bullshit. Go tell that to the Zulu kingdom. The ones that didn't want Kgalema Motlanthe and the guys to dismantle Ngonyama Trust. Go tell them to give the land to Zulus. Give the land to the people. Give away your wealth. Because the Zulu kingdom's never been poor. Before colonization, during apartheid, after democracy, the Zulu kingdom has never struggled. They've always been rich and well off. Go tell them to let go of their privilege. The same way you're telling white people they won't. Because it's stupid. Your mom, like my mom, was a teacher. She studied hard, Pumemakai, became a teacher, sent you to an ex-Model C school, and now you're working at Investec, RMB, ENS, Cliff Decker, whatever these fucking big, KPMG, Deloitte that you guys floss about. I work for the big four banks, I'm at the big four auditing firms. Get someone to come and tell you, dog, you're earning 40,000 Rand a month. You need to share your wealth with poor blacks. And you need to move away from the suburbs and go live in Luxembourg with the blacks. You as a black person be like, fuck you, I'll never do that. My mom worked hard to get me here. I worked hard. I studied. You weren't there at the job interviews. You sound exactly like a privileged white person. You won't let go of your privilege. But you can't have it both ways. We can't uplift the nation and you keep your privilege. There is a way, potentially, to retain privilege while trying to create jobs. And that means we need to fuck up the rest of the world, like the Chinese have. That means let's forget about South Africa and let's export as much shit as possible outside so that when the money comes in, the whites are still rich and then these poor blacks will be uplifted, not from the whites sacrificing, but from money that we've sucked from other countries out there. That's just kind of how it works. I understand that. Some people understand that. A lot of people don't. Nelson Mandela obviously wanted peace and those things, but he was funded like Cyril by a lot of wealthy people. The Oppenheimers, he was friends with Dow Steyn of Steyn City. You know, like, guys, if you've ever had a teacher that you like at school, if you've ever had someone in your neighborhood who gave you a bursary, if you ever had Ubabani who bought you your first car, it's very difficult, and this is where we speak about capturing. It's very difficult for you to bash that person out there in the world. So Nelson Mandela will get funding for his political campaign. Then he'll be like, yeah, fuck the Oppenheimers, and fuck the Ruperts, and fuck Dow Steyn. Does that work? People that have been like, please come into our home, let's become friends. So I'm mentioning him because the same thing has happened to a lot of you. You went into these nice white schools that have taught you to be a good white, a dark-skinned white person. Then you went to these nice varsities and now you're working for these white companies where you can't even give your opinions on politics on social media. You're the one that's captured. I get to talk my shit and I get to meet cool people. Are there areas of interest Rob and I have? Oh, like I said, minimalism is one of them. Another one of them, because white people want their privilege and comfort back, they want crime to go down. How do we get crime to go down? We give blacks jobs. That's a win-win. If Rob Hersov gave me 50 million rand and he's like, look, can you create a jobs fund? Can you find a way to help black people create subsistence farms? I'll be like, Rob, easy. I'm in. Yeah, Penal gets funded by Rob Hersov, 50 million. He set up some fund. Yeah, he's coming to sell out blacks. And I'm like, dog, I'm trying to create jobs. Rob and his people might be like, hey, we've put up a 50 million fund to make sure that we reduce crime. That's their ambition. I'm receiving the money saying, I'm going to uplift blacks. That's my ambition. Our ambitions selfishly get to overlap and we win. That's why Julius Malema are getting funded 2 million by Patrice. That's why he's getting funded by the Mazotti or Mazzotti family. They've got common interests and he's taking whatever money and access and whatever and he's trying to help people. It's capturing, it's what. The other important thing is I've got no blacks to sell currently. I'm not into politics. I'm not a politician. I'm not here to say, Rob is actually a good white person, I think everyone is misunderstood. I'm not here for that. The guy speaks well for himself. He's got a platform. He's more popular, wealthier than me. I can only speak about my meeting with him and my opinions of my meeting with him. Because he's worked in media, I told Rob I would like to get on big platforms. Facebook is cool, but what if I could get on bigger platforms and reach more people and capture more minds? So that when I tell you guys, eat well, drink more water, make sure that you are leading in your family, love your family, hug your family, make sure that you are parenting intentionally. That's good shit, man. I'm going to come fucking tell you to exercise and eat well and you're going to tell me I'm captured and I'm a sellout for asking you to take care of your body and your health. That's why I get tired and I'm like, but you guys are fucking stupid. You're idiots. You're absolute imbeciles. And that's why you're probably poor. That's why you're probably fucked. That's why you haven't achieved anything. Because there's something wrong mentally in your brain. And you'll blame apartheid. But even before apartheid, you were probably fucked. You are probably the pub soldiers that Shaka and them were using to go and die somewhere. Because you're an idiot. And unfortunately, the leaders you follow are the leaders that are giving you grants and making you weaker. And it's the leaders who are pushing you into Amapiano and Chwala, who are destroying you. Penwell, who is telling you think critically, who is telling you see through shit, who is telling you look beyond race, because you're already begging a white person for a job. But when I take a photo with another white person, I'm captured, but you're not. But I get to say more controversial shit than you. But I'm captured and you're not. it speaks to your tiny brain. And all I can do is point it out and force you to actually take a step back and be like, I don't know, this guy might be right. Maybe I'm a sellout. Someone posted about Nelson Mandela last week on Twitter, and I used to love Nelson growing up like everyone else because of propaganda. Then during my age of black consciousness and being pro-black and being a Pan-Africanist, I hated Nelson. Sellout, Kodesa, yeah, wow. And then I hope in my deeper enlightenment, I realized, you know what? Accountability has to start with self, man. An old man who was 40, in his 40s, early 40, 30, in his 40s, had been fighting for black people in the streets, was one of the people that set up an army to fight for black people called Umkhonto Wesizwe, was arrested for fighting, was labeled a terrorist, not just in South Africa, but across the world, and became the face for black people wanting liberation. And he went to languish in jail for almost 3 decades, almost 30 years. He never got to bury his firstborn son because he was in jail. They were working, fucking breaking up rocks on Robben Island with other prisoners, other people that had fought, your Jacob Zumas, your Walter Sisulu's, some of the guys that were there. He never got to be with his wife, Winnie Madikizela. He never got to raise his children the way he'd want. He decided to fight for black people. And he spent over close to 30 years there. Obviously, he was an old man when he came out. He was 70. 10 years beyond retirement. And white people were like, look, this is the guy they listen to. So if we can get him to listen to us, maybe we can kind of strike a deal. And they did. And Mandela had read books and he'd gotten time to think about the world. And he'd met like good white people and he'd met bad black people. And he realized, you know what? It's bigger than race. And yes, the people who implemented apartheid were white Afrikaners. Yes, they were bad people. But not all white Afrikaners were bad. They just happened to be under this leadership. It's almost like we've got Ramaphosa now. And if Ramaphosa goes down as the worst leader in South Africa, people will say, yeah, but blacks had Ramaphosa. We didn't. Some blacks had Ramaphosa. The rest of us don't. We've got social media today, so we can speak out. White Afrikaners didn't have social media. But some of them joined the ANC. Some of them went out into the world and went and spread the message. Besides people like Joe Slovo, Nabo, Ruth First, Helen, I forgot Helen's name. These are people that were like, no, but this is wrong, guys. They got some media coverage, but other whites, normal people like you who are like, I don't really agree. They didn't have a voice. And today we bash all of them. So yes, Mandela sold out because initially when they fought, they weren't fighting for what eventually we settled for. They didn't. He had to compromise. At Codesa, they sat and they negotiated. But in the negotiations, he got some stuff for us black people. And for me, what's really upset me, and this is where you have to look at accountability. This guy sacrificed so much. Number one, there's nothing stopping black people from building Umkhonto Wesizwe again. Or Carl Niehaus and those guys. They can go and they can rebuild with MK and be like, no, we're not happy with the compromise. We're going to build an army again. And we will organize a coup, like has happened in places like Burkina Faso. And we will overthrow this government. Nothing is stopping you. Nelson Mandela didn't say, you're stuck. We signed this thing, so you, Penwell, out there, These guys went and broke the law. Guys like Vladimir Putin are breaking laws. Nothing is stopping you from breaking the law for what's right. So if you feel what they did was wrong, it's on you, dog. Go sit in jail for 30 years and leave your woman and don't get a chance to raise your children. Go do it. Nothing is stopping you. No one is forcing you to buy from Pick and Pay and Woolworths and ShopRite, or Pakistanis, or Somalians, or Ethiopians. Nelson Mandela didn't say, I dream of a land where my people will be buying from the Pakistani. No, that's on you. That's your money. Why is your family not set up a spaza shop? Why is your family not growing its own food? Why have you not built your own political party? It's so easy to blame the whole world besides yourself because you're a fucking coward. Let's bash Penal on social media because I refuse to take accountability for Why am I spending money with rich whites? Why am I buying distilled products? How you 100 Rupert? Why am I trading cryptocurrency on Luno? Yeah, Rupert. Why am I supporting the Oppenheimers? Why do I support Sundowns? Yeah, Patrice, who's in bed with white people. You never want to take accountability for your actions and your role in your own fucking misery. Some of us are trying to lead because we realize you're children. You whine, make a lot of noise, and you're like, you know what? I think these kids are just miserable. They need a parent. So I'll be their parent. I'll lead them. And the ones who are like, you know, that's a good father. He's a young father, young penny, but he's a good father. He's got good principles. And I think I want to follow him. Like I said, you don't have to follow me. Follow Julius, follow Andile, follow the lady, I don't know her name, Lucislo, who was in FISMA, who was leading FISMA's fall at Wits. You know, if you want to follow Mini Dlamini and Boiti and Pearl Tusi, fuck, it's your life, dog. Mihlali. You know, no, I want to be a slay queen. That's your leader. By all means, this one, go buy a wig. You know, put on makeup and go get filters. That's who you want to follow. But you guys want to point fingers and you never want to take accountability. Oh, Mandela did the most. And it's up to us now. I've seen so many black people who have built farms, who have built manufacturing plants, who have become wealthy and successful. Some have left the country because they took this opportunity that we now have to build. You now don't have to be a white person to register a company. You don't have to get a white front like Richard Maponya. He got a white person to register his business on his behalf. You don't have to be Vivian Reddy. And when he started Edison Electrical, had to pretend like he's working for a white man to get work. You can be your own thing and take your own destiny. Nelson Mandela and them got us that. Not only did they get us that, they built you guys over 5 million RDPs. They're giving you guys social grants. They've gotten you guys access to these supposedly white schools, these white universities. You can now go work for white companies and go live in Sandton or Mhlanga or Camps Bay. But you guys don't want to take accountability and be like, what can I do? What can I do? Mandela did his bit. He was an old man. Yes, he sold out. Yes, let's accept it. Because that's not what we fought for. But he got us something. He got us a foot in the door. What have we done with that? What am I doing for my family? What have I done? There's stats that normally go out that say 72% of land in this country is owned by white people. The land audit has been done. It's relatively thorough. You can find it on Google. I think it's in a PDF. And you can read through it. This is what I was saying about Blacks Don't Read. Bafundi Daily Sun, no Facebook. Go on Google and read something important. The land audit. And go read what it says. I've done it. I've summarized it. I post it regularly because I'm your father. I'm your dad. And I'm like, let me teach you the stuff that you're too lazy to go and read for yourself. Of the land we have in South Africa, I think I could be wrong. It might be 122 million square kilometers. The land in this country. I could be wrong. I'll verify. Close to 15% of this whole country, close to 15% sits with the state government. So if there's properties, if there's farms, if there's government land, whoever's running government has access to that land. Close to 15% of this land sits under tribal custodianship in trusts. Before we lost him, rest in peace, brilliant leader, Inkosi Sipho Mahlangu, Ubaba. We lost him last year, apparently to COVID. He was the head of traditional leaders in parliament. He gave me the stats. I don't know if it was 700 trusts that traditional leaders preside over. Umisuzulu now, his father was Welitini before. I'll say Umisuzulu / Usmagate because I'm still not fully convinced who should be the king of the Zulus. Umisuzulu no Smagate, the royal house KwaZulu, have custodianship on the biggest tribal land in this country, close to 3 million hectares. 3 million hectares. A hectare is the size of a rugby field. Over 3 million hectares that they have custodianship over. But then you've got other kings. You've got Dalindyebo. You've obviously got the Royal Bafokeng, who have built a great economic empire and Royal Bafokeng Holdings. 15% of our land is under tribal custodianship. So 15% state, 15% tribal. That's 30%. 30%. About 30% sits with companies and trusts. about 30% sits with farms. 30%. Of that 30%, 72% is under white ownership. That's where that data comes from. 72% of the farms, registered farms, are with whites. But there's all this other land that sits with blacks. And I always ask, before you go and fight whites, what have you done with tribal land? Show me all the commercial farms that you've built on Ingonyama Trust land. Show me all the mines. Show me all the factories. But no, you don't want that. You want to establish white land. Saul Kerzner, Jewish boy from Joburg, went and built Sun City on tribal land. It was in the middle of nowhere. The guys who built Sandton City built it on farms, relatively in the middle of nowhere. There's middle of nowheres, KwaZulu, Mpumalanga, Limpopo, Northwest, Eastern Cape, Free State, Northern Cape. What have you guys done with that land? And I'm not talking about these fancy houses that clever blacks are now building. These fancy houses that clever blacks are now building, oh, Limpopo. You get tenders or you have a nice big job in Joburg and then you and build a boss home. Is that building jobs for anyone? Because you're buying your materials from Indians there. You're getting foreigners, Base Mozambique, Nabase Malawi, Nabase Lesotho, to go there and build for you. Are you building factories there for your people? Are you building farms? Or you just want to floss your big house there? You have to take accountability, man. It's very important. So, I've gone far and I'm sorry that I'm a bit passionate about this topic. So I'm building a relationship with Rob and I want to get on a platform so I can unlock minds and I can get people to take ownership of their lives. And if Rob Hersov can help me, if Patrice Motsepe can help me, if Cyril Ramaphosa can help me, if Jacob Zuma can help me, if DJ Sbu, Zola 7, anyone can help me to get on a platform to speak my truth. Mark Zuckerberg with Facebook, I will do it. I want to help you guys. I want you guys to win. It's the craziest thing. One of my principles, because people are slashing me over, oh, you now want to be God. I want you guys to win. I want white people to retain their privilege as far as possible. It's great. Cape Town is stunning. But I want white people to also win. I want black people to go into Cape Town, go into Mhlanga, go into these top places. But then I want other black people to build Sun City and Melrose Arch and whatever. Then I want a chunk of black people to be like, we don't want capitalism. We don't want to build all these big skyscrapers. We actually want to build eco-villages where we have subsistence farming and we grow our own food and we live amongst springbok and zebra and kudu, and we have chickens and cows and we homeschool our children and we make our own clothing and we're healthy. We don't want to chase money and be stuck in the rat race. We want to have spaces that are healthy and free. One of my friends, one of my good friends and brothers, Cameron Peverett, wants to build these sustainable villages where people can come then volunteer and build organic farms and be at peace. If I get the platform, I will do that. And if Rob can help me, fuck it. And if in the process he gives me money, or if in the process I get to say something nice about white people and independent Western Cape, so be it. Because you guys are not doing enough for yourselves. Uzwelithini threatened to make KwaZulu independent. I was like, please do it. Be like a Swatini. Umswati, some of his people want him out because they are poor. They have to fucking jump the borders and come into South Africa for a better life because their king has failed them. The Zulus, KwaZulu, have to come to Egoli to come and be Oma Chingelani, security guards to come and be domestic workers because their king has failed them. He has not built industry there such that Zulus are like, I will never leave KwaZulu. This is paradise. The same way Jan van Riebeeck and the boys have built a beautiful Western Cape for the whites and they privileged and they're like, we're not leaving here. It's beautiful. Build a beautiful KwaZulu. Where the people, where I, as a Zulu, or who used to be Zulu, saying, yo, mfuna ukubuyela KwaZulu because it's heaven. But it's not heaven, it's a fucking shithole. Because you guys have bad leaders and you don't want to take accountability for what have you done. I think I'll stop my video there. I spoke a bit too much. I'll make another video later today, if not tomorrow. And then I want to unpack why I've built my own religion, culture, belief system. Why penalism? Is it a cult? Am I trying to get people to drink blood? my thoughts around God, religion as a whole, and what I'm trying to build. Not everyone will see that video. Not everyone sees other videos, but I will keep saying this stuff until it finally registers what it is that I'm actually trying to build. And I'm hoping to lead more and more of you so that we can live a better life. I want people to be better. And I don't want to work with stupid black people. I don't want to work with black people who are constantly drowning in being victims. I don't want to live with black people who are criminals and thugs and who hate themselves and who constantly point fingers. And I don't want to work with white people who are racists. White people who want to continue oppressing black people. Who want to protect their privilege so much that black people must just be fucking clowns. I don't. I want to work with people who see me. Do you see me? See me and see my value. And don't see me as a political puppet who will campaign and toy for your interests. See me. I will work with white people who see me, who want to help me and my people, my panelists, people who follow my leadership so that we can do better for our families, for our communities, hopefully for the nation and the continent and the world at large. That's what I want. So yeah, man, I hope you're having a great day. I hope you're inspired. Velendize, Amaphiko Specialist Kakane featuring Younger Chief, Pagade Nomfundo featuring Amifaku and Shasha. Beautiful songs that you can listen to, and I hope to connect with you guys as well. Don't forget to exercise. Don't forget to put in the work. I love people who love hard work. I'm not an ambassador for soft life. Unfortunately, I'm an ambassador for hard life. I like the hard shit. I like people who find pleasure in adding value, in creating and planting, in sweating, in building themselves into machines. Penuel the Black Pen. I love you guys. Need to chat to DJ Spoon now. I actually just canceled this call for you guys. I love you. Genuinely. Cheers.